Color is described as a property of objects that depend on the light they reflect and is perceived by the human eye. Before you attempt to apply hair color, it is important to have a general understanding of color theory. We will focus this lesson on pages 675 through 679. Our learning objectives for this lesson will be to identify primary, secondary, and tertiary colors, and to know what roles tone and intensity play in hair color. The law of color is the system of understanding color relationships. When you combine colors, you will always get the same result from the same combination. Primary colors are pure, fundamental colors. These colors cannot be created by mixing any other colors. Yet, all other colors are created by mixing these three colors. Blue is the strongest of the primary colors and adds depth or darkness when mixed with other colors. Blue is the only cool primary color. Red is known as the medium primary color. Adding red to blue makes the color appear lighter, while adding red to yellow makes the color appear darker. Yellow is the weakest primary color. Adding yellow to other colors will make them appear lighter and brighter. As we move into secondary and tertiary colors, understanding the proportions used to create the variety of colors will make a huge impact on the results you and the client desire. To help simplify this process, as we discuss proportions, we need to establish a foundation of proportion. So we will assume that each of the primary colors are established on a 12-part basis. Parts can be referred to as drops, ounces, grams, or any other unit of measurement you choose to use. Secondary colors are created when we mix two primary colors in equal proportions. Again, we are basing our color on a 12-part ratio, so in order to equally achieve 12 parts for our color ratio, we need to divide 12 parts by the two colors we will be mixing. So if we mix 6 parts of blue and 6 parts of yellow together, we will always achieve the color green. If we mix 6 parts red and 6 parts yellow, we will always achieve orange. And still, if we mix 6 parts red and 6 parts blue, we will always get violet. Therefore, our secondary colors are green, orange and violet. Tertiary colors are a combination of a primary color and its neighboring, secondary color. So again we need to understand the proportions used in which to create these colors. If we are basing our colors on a 12-part ratio, we need 6 parts of a primary color and 6 parts of its neighboring secondary color. As we just learned, secondary colors are achieved by combining equal parts of primary colors. So now we are combining primary and secondary colors to create tertiary colors. In order to create the color yellow-orange, we will need 6 parts yellow and 6 parts orange. Yellow is a primary color, while orange is a secondary color. So in essence I am now mixing 9 parts yellow and 3 parts red to create the tertiary color yellow-orange. Tertiary colors are named as the primary color, followed by the secondary color. In the case of yellow-orange, yellow is the primary color, so it is labeled first, followed by orange, the secondary color. This theory will follow through for each of the 6 tertiary colors. Yellow-green is created by mixing 6 parts yellow and 6 parts green, or in other words, 9 parts yellow and 3 parts blue. Blue-green is achieved by mixing equal parts blue and green, or 9 parts blue and 3 parts yellow. Blue-violet is created when mixing 9 parts blue and 3 parts red. Red-violet is created when mixing 9 parts red and 3 parts blue. Red-orange is achieved when mixing 9 parts red and 3 parts yellow. Therefore, our 6 tertiary colors are yellow-orange, yellow-green, blue-green, blue-violet, red-violet, and red-orange. When all of these colors are represented on what is commonly referred to as the color wheel, we can use the information these colors provide us in a variety of ways, all useful to hair coloring services. The color wheel will always be represented in a fashion that expresses the previous mixing ratios. The color red-violet will always be found on the color wheel, located between the colors red and violet, as it will always take those two colors combined to create that color. Orange as a secondary color will always be found halfway between the colors red and yellow, as it will always take equal proportions of those two colors to achieve the color orange. As the colors are arranged on the color wheel, we begin to learn more about these colors and how they relate to hair coloring. One half of the color wheel is described as being warm colors, while the opposite half is described as cool colors. Warm colors are those colors that reflect more light. I always remember warm colors when I think of things that are warm, such as the sun or roasting marshmallows over the fire. Those things generally reflect colors such as reds, oranges, and yellows. While cool colors are those colors that absorb more light. I tend to remember things that are cold or cool and refreshing, such as the blues and greens reflected in the oceans and lakes, or the light blue, almost white, color of ice cubes. As we continue our lesson in color theory, we understand that when I mix colors located side by side on the color wheel, we achieve certain colors. Now we will learn what happens when we mix colors located on the opposite sides of the color wheel. Colors found opposite of each other on the color wheel are known as complementary colors. When we mix complementary colors together in equal proportions, we achieve neutral, or a brown color. The complementary colors we choose mixed together will determine the shade, or tone of the brown color that we achieve. Knowing that blue is our darkest primary color, I know I will achieve a darker shade of brown by mixing blue and orange together, as orange is made up of smaller proportions of red and yellow. Yellow, being the lightest color, will achieve a lighter shade of brown when it is mixed with violet, as yellow is the more predominant color. We now know that mixing all three primary colors in unequal proportions will give us various shades of brown. But what would happen if we mix all three primary colors in equal proportion? Again, basing our proportions on a 12-part ratio, we divide the 12 parts needed by the three primary colors, and we will mix 4 parts blue, 4 parts red, and 4 parts yellow. This combination will present us with the color black. Black is known as the presence of all color. Adding black to any color is called shading. Shading will make a color deeper and darker. White is the absence of all color. In terms of hair color, it is difficult to remove all color from the hair. We can begin with a dark color, such as black, and remove color little by little, to eventually achieve a very pale, yellow color, but in reality, we can never completely remove all color in order to achieve white. Adding white to any color is called tinting. Tinting makes a color lighter and brighter. The tone, also known as hue, is the balance of color. The tone, or hue, will answer the question of which color to use, based on the client's desired results. Tones can be described as warm, cool, or neutral. When discussing hair color with clients, we want to make certain that what we are discussing with our client is what the client actually desires. Many manufacturers will refer to their hair color in terms of auburn, copper, or caramel. But one manufacturer's caramel hair color may be several shades lighter or darker than another manufacturer's caramel color. It is for this reason we must always ensure that we are working with the client's best interests in mind. Because warm tones reflect more light, they can look lighter than their actual level. These are hair colors that are golden, orange, red, and yellow. These are the colors that we many times refer to as auburn, strawberry, copper, or caramel, because these names sound much more tantalizing to the client than red, orange, and yellow. The same is true for cool colors. Ash, smoky, and platinum sound much more professional than blue, green, and violet. Yet, it is essentially these primary and secondary colors that make up those hair colors. Intensity refers to the strength of a color. Intensity is usually described in terms of soft, medium, and strong. Intensity can be seen in examples where more than one application of a particular color is applied over the top of the same color. The more layers or coats of a color, the stronger that color gets. Base color is the predominant tone of a color. Each hair color is identified by a number and a letter. The number indicates the level of lightness or darkness of a color. We will learn more about levels in a future lesson. The letter represents the predominant color. In the example provided, the number 5 represents how light or dark the color is, and the letter R represents the color red. So, in this example, a 5R tells me that this color happens to be a 5 red, or a medium red.